Live in Maui. Ah, dude. Hell yeah. Oh, come on with the fucking speed? Dude, are you serious? All right, so why the fuck would that be? Shit. Something's with the internet here. All right, so in any case, let's preview. Okay, so the show, guys, it's a show today. We're gonna get into a lot. We're gonna go from ideas behind the dark aspects of feminism to the good aspects of why of how of why people, the average person being either a hetero woman or a oh shit, we're live, or a masculine man, and how to define that, which creates polarity because it creates a kind of like, let's play these roles, and that's how theater, the illusion of life, occurs. It occurs from people being from playing a role, and also having like fun with each other. Having fun with the idea of, you it's like you want someone to, like, you're excited to be with them. You're excited for them to be. You're excited for them to be like a masculine man, and a simple example of that would be a woman wanting to think about her future husband and think about what would he want. Would he want her to be more promiscuous, or would he want her to remain pure, just like she would want to. But look at some of these guys in this audience. Like, why are they not like? They should be going crazy in that audience. Like, you see how they're not really moving. It's like, what's going on? Like, some people are moving. Like, what does it take to get people moving, man? This is Jimi Hendrix, man. You guys get her fucking rocking. All right, so yeah, that's the thing. I'm always questioning things. Don't just look at something and say, it's fine. Like, look at a mother, looking at her phone and then being careless when pushing her stroller down the street, and there might be cars turning in. There's a video where a guy saw a mother do that, and he took her phone and slammed it on the ground. So it's just that it's that consciousness that I want. I want you guys to tune into. Yeah, this is an interesting video, all the way in Maui, man. Look at that, and look at what's funny is it's like a small audience and everything. It's like, dude, and look at all the like hippie like, look at. All right. So that's what I'm saying. I'm saying question, guys, question. But let's get into it. I mean, I got some pretty hard stuff coming into play here. We're gonna have fun. We're gonna have fun looking into this. So first, I want to start off by reiterating that we got to make this about women. And when you consistently engage in, you have self-intimacy, it allows you to not want that orgasm with penetrative or oral sex from the woman. It makes you not want that, and that's important because it's important for a man to not be like desperate or like wanting the woman's, like hoping for a waiting. That's a feminine man waiting for the woman to like love him and compliment him. Really, it should be the man directing the attention back towards the woman. And what I find is that the more I'm consistent with my self-intimacy. And by the way, the idea of no fat for that energetic retention, it can be useful. Sometimes I'll use it for a couple of days if I got a hard project. But generally, I want to enjoy life, and that the basis of enjoyment of life, to me, involves self-care, and this idea called self-consent and self-love and self-intimacy. It's all related because it's allowing yourself to, enjoy yourself, right? And and so, but when you achieve that the consciousness, like for me now, I'm like my main thing about, well, then what do you need a woman for? For me, it's to celebrate and worship her vulva, and that's with oral sex. And so the thing is that the the VVS is the most important, and also it's useful to be curious or question, anyone who does not express that. And also, the ideas, one major idea that will come up in today is the idea that a virgin woman is the most attractive, although she should, I believe, use dildos to know herself as well, and not just be completely reliant upon a man to master her body. And then, another theme that will come up today is the idea that Orthodox religions have divorce rates that are much lower. And another point, which is always my theme, is the self-love idea of being married to yourself. And when you're in that vibration of love, when you're in that frequency, and you're having sex with yourself, quote unquote, you're trying to make that experience more pleasurable. So you're like actively, doing it. You're not just like trying to be ashamed or avoidant of doing it. Let's see. I think that'll work. Is that? I think that's possible. But yeah, let's see. So here we go. Here we go. Alright, so I'm going to start off with this video. This video is loaded. If you guys are into the subject, then watch this whole video for yourself, but I'm going to highlight a few key moments. Let's see here. 26. See, what I do is I write in the time slots of the 34, 42, 26, 26, 30, 34, and 42. Okay, here we go. So check this out. It looks like my audio, I'm going to need to mess around with the audio here. Here we go.
No, you're not saying no because I'm the guy and I'm telling you it's a red flag.
I haven't met any men with your perspective before.
They haven't told you that because they're not honest with you. I'm being honest with you.
Like
this is the first time someone's been honest.
So when he says this thing about honesty, it's because many men will just neglect their personal lives, like their dreams, just so they can get an orgasm from a woman. And it's a destructive cycle that's neglecting of who they are and their soul.
I don't agree.
This is specifically Western what you're talking about. This attitude where you can just go and do whatever you want, it's specifically Western. We can't live in fantasy world like that. If I don't know, hold on a second. I know you think you can do whatever you want, whenever you want, all the time. But men, you actually don't know anything about like what men want. So it's manifestly true in you.
I'm not anything about what men want.
You kind of, like it's...
You know they want God, we can't win, can we, Jay?
Oh, you can. It's actually quite easy.
He doesn't want to be my boyfriend, I don't want to be his girlfriend. It's like, no, it's that, yeah. So it's like exclusive.
What's the point of putting a shit at the end of it if it's not, you don't want to be together at all?
Well, I think it's it's the title. He like doesn't want the title, so it's like a relationship with that.
And what's the point of there being any title at all? That's what I don't get about that situation.
Yeah, I don't really.
Didn't they used to call
I
it
feel like
like
situationship is
But
just
you're
so
also
inclusive.
not exclusively seeing other people.
Right, like we are.
But if you could, if you wanted to, you could.
Yeah,
So
I feel like he was encouraged.
as soon as something
to date.
better comes along for you or for him, it's done.
I hate to think yes, but like maybe, I don't know.
So this, see how they're like laughing as if it's like a joke, and I think part of the reason women do that is because they, when they're younger, men, especially simpy men, they're more than willing to give treat a woman like they're married to them. And here's the critical juncture, guys. It's this simple. It's a man is the one who proposes marriage, not the woman, only the man. And the woman, what the woman's power is her allowing sexual access to her body. So if a man treats a woman like he's married, like lets her, helps pay her, like lets her live with her and everything, and she doesn't, and she's allowing multiple men sexual access to her, then that's the same as a woman giving a man sexual access, but the man is not committed to her. So they're both as severe, and so what they're kind of talking about here is but the reality is these women are not marriage material, and it's not insulting. It's just that's what they're choosing to be. They're not preparing for marriage. They're not thinking about it. They're not thinking about their future husband. Let's get back into this.
You guys are honest.
Like perhaps, yeah.
So you don't want to be with him. He's like your best friend, and you've bounced
I
off
do,
of
okay,
that.
like I would, if he wanted to be my boyfriend, I would be his girlfriend. But
See, there you go. That shows that's another thing that women do is they use sex and they think that just because a man willing to have sex with them that he might want to commit and be in a marriage, but it's the complete opposite, guys. She should wait until a man marries her and then give the man her body, and that's a complete transaction, if you will, or complete, commitment.
But he doesn't want it.
That sounds.
I don't want to say a situationship. Exactly. There's just a lot of complex feelings in there. So much. I would like to be a mother someday, not necessarily a wife. Like that's not even. I don't ever need to get married. I just want kids and a house to take care of. I want to be a little like a housewife. But
It's the future. It's what we're doing now. I understand that.
and he's like, he might be that. You know?
You had a kind of a reaction to what she said. What specifically did she say that you?
Well, it's a gigantic red flag when somebody says that they want to be a mother but not a wife, because it means that you're looking for a guy to give you his seed, and then if you don't want to be his wife, then he's on the hook for child support, and he's basically not going to be able to see his kid. You're going to take his money. That's
No,
what
okay.
our head rules do that. So
I should have. It's not that I don't want to be a wife. It's like my whole life I pictured being a mother, a caretaker, like a housewife. But I just marriage in itself, like sharing taxes and all that. I don't need to do all that. Like a long-term partner that lives with me.
You want a man to give you
I want a partner.
You want a man to give you a child, but you don't want to be a wife.
I would be a wife. I'd be
Okay,
a
so-
really good wife.
okay.
Yeah. But like,
It's
it's
just
just not
necessary.
necessary. Exactly.
So as in the
Children are necessary.
the legal side of things isn't necessary?
Right.
Okay.
Correct.
Oh, I
That's
agree with that.
exactly. Sex is like the start of our, like a base of a pillar of our relationship. So
But
that's
you're-
like,
That's not healthy.
well,
Wait, your OnlyFans is the pillar.
no,
of
not
your
my
relationship.
OnlyFans. The sex I have with this man.
Oh, that's the pillar.
A pillar.
Oh, one of the
Yes.
pillars.
Like that's just
What
we.
about
So another point that comes up constantly with these talks is the idea that a woman shouldn't do OnlyFans and shouldn't reveal her body. I think a woman should reveal her body after she's married because I think it's important to celebrate the female body as a human experience, but I think it should be only in the context of when she's married, so that way it's not like she's available and guys could potentially try to talk to her, or there's this kind of tension or maybe energy, or even on her end of feeling like wishing like a guy would, want her or whatnot. And it's just, she has a loving husband, and then she just shows off her body, and it's a more, I think, wholesome way of pornography, if you will.
The fact that other people get to see it, do you think that that's an issue? Do you think that he might be really enjoying the sex, but then when it comes to the long-term point of view, that might be a disqualifier?
No. He participates in the OnlyFans.
So what would he
manages
get out of
the OnlyFans.
what would he get out of making it exclusive? Like, what extra benefit would he get?
I don't know. I'm giving him all the benefits already. So
Yeah.
While I don't agree with his mindset, I totally understand it.
Yeah.
I would love to be the wife and do all the things, but I understand that he.
If he told you to
doesn't.
delete it tomorrow,
And you just mean
if he
You're
said-
giving him all of those wife things
Like-
without being,
Yeah.
without
Just
having the
because-
title.
What
Who
about
I am
if
as
he
a
told you
partner,
to delete it tomorrow and he said that we can be together, you just got to delete your OnlyFans, would you do it?
Yeah,
Okay.
as long as he's paying the bills, because that's paying the bills now.
Does he get money from your OF?
No.
But you said
If
he
we-
managed.
All right, so continuing on, like I said, this is loaded, but we're just doing the highlights here, guys. So let's see what this one I highlighted is.
Him on beach, because I would go to this beach bar all the time and I
Okay.
would just hang out with the bartender there. He was
So it wasn't a
cool.
dating app. It was you met him on the beach,
Yeah, for sure.
and he asked. It was the subtext kind of he was romantically interested in you.
Oh, for sure.
Had you guys already hooked up?
No, we're kissing.
Wait, hold on. You'd already kissed. You'd already kissed him.
We were kissing in the bar.
Okay. So was this before? Was this?
So her laugh is, it's like she doesn't. It's disturbing. It's like she thinks everything's funny, like a 10-year-old.
You kissed him. And, wait, you kissed him, and then you wanted to go flirt with other men?
Yes.
You kissed him at the bar that you wanted to go and flirt with the other men at?
Well, once you
Yeah,
start,
because I was just realizing.
So this is just showing that it's like, as a man, why would you want to be like a maybe? Why would you want to be like a boyfriend or a significant other, or seeing the person, or they're dating? Because then that still leaves the possibility that the woman will leave you for another guy. So it's emasculating, and the idea, and even these guys who are supposedly supposed to be, the best available guys out there, like they've got money, they've got good genetics, but they're and then they can use that to leverage to get multiple women, but those multiple women on those short-term encounters are all with other guys as well. So it's still better to have one virgin wife. And again, the idea of the virgin, it requires a man to all the men to be virgin as well, because all the women can't be virgin unless all the men are, and so you kind of get the drift of this whole discussion here.
That hangout,
Yeah.
that I was just not feeling this
Energy
guy
and-
as much as he was
Energy
feeling.
and
Was this-
vibes and that
Yeah,
sort of thing.
like he was
Yeah,
attaching
right.
the hips, following me around,
Yeah.
and we were a huge group of our friends
Yeah.
too from that
So
island.
the chakras just went aligning, and the energy and the vibes, and you wanted to just sort of
The
be
energy and
happy
the
with it.
vibes,
Yeah.
but when that happened, did you establish that you were no longer interested and that you were going to go talk to other
That's
people?
what that post is about. How do I mention to the guy that I'm flinging with? that I'm
But
gonna-
did you? I'm asking, but did you?
I'm a great communicator.
Flinging. I thought you misspelled, like you were flirting, but this was a fling. You were
It was a
flinging.
fling. I was flinging.
But you said you hadn't hooked up with him yet.
No, other than just kissing in the bar.
To be honest, that seems a little bit malicious.
Oh, well,
Oh. What do you have to
I
say
mean-
about that? Huh?
I mean, that's why I try to have good communication like that, because that might be hurtful because I have these intentions for myself and my night. But I try to, as quickly as I can figure out that.
So it's just all this logic of using words play, and it's all like flinging and all these crazy terms, anything except for husband and wife and true love and purity. All these terminology, it's all like wordplay to distract you from this person is degrees closer to being a prostitute. And at the end of the day, guys, it's all about extremes. People might think that's not the average situation, but it's like it's easier to see reality when you compare the extremes, like a virgin woman compared to a promiscuous, masculine, talkative, prostitute kind of a woman. It's like that's the two extremes you're dealing with. And if we all should be aware of who these women are. And like as a man, because I manage my own second chakra energy and manage my own orgasm requirements, I can see when I look at women, I look at them like I can instantly be turned off by a woman that's physically attractive. I can like instantly sense her energy, look at her body language, and see whether or not she's I can like feel whether or not she's in the energy of love, or if she's just a promiscuous woman. Because you can't be promiscuous and be in the energy of love. It's a lustful. It's actually more about power than sexuality, and that's the interesting thing. The promiscuous behavior is more about like, oh, can I dominate you, and especially kind of manifests in the whole, guys trying to, have a bigger PPS so they can like dominate women or stuff to that effect. But the reality is, it doesn't put the woman's vulva first and foremost in the attention. Number one, and number two, it's great if you guys have, can provide each other more pleasure. But if you do that with each other, if man and woman's like, there's a better fit sexually speaking, then it's only going to make you more attracted to each other, and then it's going to be harder to attach or break each other's hearts. And so why would you want to do that unless it's about a competition?
I feel that way, like, oh, this guy was cute and we were having fun at that bar this morning, but now that we're out here, I'm not feeling it. I'm gonna move on, and I'm gonna tell him that. I'm not gonna like just leave him and be like,
So it's all about this like feeling thing.
This person who you've just been kissing. Because to me, that's just a kind of a mean thing to do. And I was just kind of trying to get to the bottom of what he did that pissed you off, that made you want to go do that in front of him. Because females can be very vicious like that. If they get pissed off by something, then they will go and do something to really like
I didn't mean to be vicious, and I didn't set out to hurt him. I did not know this man enough to consider that would be a big deal. I don't mean to hurt this person that I met that day, and I could have, and that sucks. I don't want that. So, real intention wasn't
I just
better.
avoid the whole like, I just love it. That language is just grinds me.
I think I discovered the world alone. I like to see it through my man's eyes.
It just
That's
depends.
great.
It just depends. I think like where we're butting heads here is that you're.
Okay, so the big thing, and this is another mistake that, young people can make, especially women, is this proclivity to just want to travel and have fun, but, what really happens is it's promiscuity, and it's also she's neglecting her future husband's desires. Like, is she thinking about her future husband and how he would feel if she was doing that? Probably not.
I'm looking at it through your worldview, where it's like me. I want to experience everything and have this amazing life, and that's awesome.
But isn't
when I'm speaking, I'm talking about from a guy's perspective, and that's where like the essential difference is here. And you're not really. I don't
I
think
haven't met any men with your perspective before.
they haven't told you that because they're not honest with you. I'm being honest with you.
feel like
This is the first time someone's been honest with you.
I don't agree, because I feel like
I love it how you can tell a girl what guys think, and they'll tell you that they don't agree.
Because you're not all men.
I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm
And
speaking
I'm
in
one
generalities.
singular man with a thought
Do you
process,
agree,
and
Mom?
I'm
I
sure
agree.
there's
I agree, Homath agrees.
I
Homath
agree.
agrees.
Billion people in this world.
Okay.
There is, granted, I'm not discrediting what
Sure.
you're saying. I'm sure there's a vast majority that
Hold on, let me
agrees
just
with what you're
quickly,
saying.
you just said the world, let me just quickly untable that. How many Muslims are there in the world? About 2 billion. Do you reckon any of them like girls who hold up?
No, but
No.
that's to say that everyone.
How many Christians are there in the world? I don't know, maybe like 1 billion or so. All of these religious cultures around the world
Only about
where female chastity is valued at the highest order. This is specifically Western what you're talking about. This attitude where you can just go and do whatever you want is specifically Western. So I'm telling you from the perspective of a Western guy, if you spoke to an Islamic guy, he would go nuts if he heard this stuff because they are actually virgins until marriage, all of them.
Yeah, they would kill you, baby.
seriously.
Abdul?
So when I talk about generalities, trust me, it's not just my perspective. This is throughout, cross-culturally, throughout history and all around the world.
Absolutely.
Like, as a woman, I feel like it's not that hard not to cheat. But I think that men cheat far more often because they
Disagree.
feel a need to.
Disagree.
Okay.
Women have more options to cheat. Women have more ability to cheat.
And physically women cheat more, but men emotionally
They can't hide it.
or by watching.
Right. Yeah, fair.
But also, I think what you're saying is true in the sense of, like, if you look at it biologically and like anthropologically,
Right.
it's proven that, like, you know, human beings aren't necessarily meant to be monogamous.
Mhm.
But if you look at the most healthy societies, they're all nuclear family societies. And then as soon as the nuclear family starts to deteriorate, society starts to deteriorate. So if we
So yeah, there's lots of good stuff in here. I'm gonna go to one last thing, and then we'll go to our next video. Here we go, 42.
Sorry to put it so vulgarly, but like, lay out for me some of the things that that are essential in men.
It is person by person. I don't have a type. I don't have like.
Okay, let me do it for you then. Does he have to earn over 60K per year?
For me to get what I ultimately want, they would have to be able to provide an entire household
Okay.
worth of income.
So you're
Pay all the
gonna
bills.
work? Yeah. So let's say that's probably like 120K.
Right. Yeah.
Does he have to be in shape? Can he be fat?
I could be fluffy.
Fluffy or
I love.
can he be fat? Like,
No.
does he have to? Because you've been rocking with those football players and stuff. The bar's high. Does he have to be in good shape?
No, it does not have to be in good shape.
Okay. Cool. Can he be married?
Well, I was gonna say
Currently.
currently?
Oh, you think there aren't girls out there who are getting?
Oh, I was just trying to clarify.
Yeah.
Definitely. No, I would not like to be a
They
third.
can't be married?
No.
Yeah, okay. What's the age range? What's the maximum and minimum?
Oh gosh. Minimum, like, probably like 27. Maximum for me as a 24-year-old, probably, oh gosh, like 35, because I want them to raise the kids with me. I want them, age
And
has
so-
to be kind of close.
What, does he have to be tall, over 6 foot?
No.
No?
No.
Can he be like
I
5'5"?
would prefer, okay, in like a reproduction standpoint, I would like him to be tall and handsome and, not necessarily fit.
Alright, so we want
I can take
tall,
care of that, but-
handsome guy who's under 35 years old.
Yeah.
So this is all good questions to ask and also to be aware of.
Yeah.
One last thing I wanted to show you
Yeah,
guys.
fair enough. And here I am with no successful relationships as
No, I'm not trying to.
That's to somebody else. And I think that's just a very common thing now is the whole cheating thing. Like, if I'm with a virgin, I don't have to worry about that. I don't have to worry about cheating because they're not comparing the way that we have sex to somebody else. And I think that's just a very common thing now is just sex. Marriage, sex is like 2% in marriage. You gotta worry about personality, the way the person treats you. That's the thing, like, so focused on sex. You don't know anything about me, what I offer.
But the
It's
thing
like,
is,
sex.
males, we're looking at this from a practical perspective. And this is something that's very important to men. And I know you think you can do whatever you want, whenever you want, all the time. But men, we actually look at these things and we value them. So you might not value it. But if you ever want to have a long-term relationship that's meaningful, and if you want a man that's worth his salt to look twice at you, you have to take these things in mind.
Why
I'd
probably
probably
a partner of experiences? If I was dating anyone, I would
No,
trust
go do
that
it.
you're gonna
We're
be
just
with
done.
me.
This is the
Okay.
thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Bye.
Peace out.
Peace out.
Yeah.
Peace
it's
out.
Just, it's a
You're
different.
not the man for me, Brian.
Oh, rip. RIP's in the chat, boys.
Yeah, difference in values.
Just different preferences.
Definitely different preferences.
Different, yeah. I mean, it's just different values. Like we said, like there's trade-offs in life, and one of the trade-offs that you have to make as a girl, like we said before, if it is something that you value to have a long-term relationship with a guy who has any sort of self-respect, one of the things that you will not be doing is saying, "I'm going to go to Thailand for a month,"
That's
because
not
that guy will just say,
Who are you
"Okay,
dating?
see you later. When you get back, you'll be single."
Who are you dating? I would never ever even like go on a second date with someone that was like that.
You haven't had a relationship for more than 2 weeks, so that
I had
kind
a
of says a
relationship
lot.
for 3.5 years, a year,
Yeah.
and 2 years.
Look, I'm just telling you the reality of how guys think here. And in terms of like a girl wanting to go away by herself to Thailand for a month, guys are just not going to put up with that. And you
What are
can,
you scared of? Me fucking someone?
Well,
Let's
yeah.
have a relationship conversation.
Yeah, I'm glad that you
Let's have a
realized.
conversation where I'm like, I respect you and I
Yeah.
love you, and my relationship with you is more important than bodies and people like
Yeah.
that.
I totally get, like, I do understand what you're saying, and that's where my open-mindedness comes in, and, like, I know that there are people out there that exist that have that view, but, like, for me, I choose a partner that I would like to see every single day for the rest of my
Yeah.
life, and I would love to travel the
I
world
don't
with
want
so
it.
you're married, so you can speak to that. You're 25, and like I said before, in 10 years' time,
Yeah.
like right now you're young, you're gorgeous, you're 25, you're getting all this male attention, it's fantastic. In 10 years' time, if you're 35 and you're buying your own drinks at the bar, it's going to be very different. You're going to have a very different attitude towards this. And this is the thing that girls don't get told. Guys, we don't really need to get told because the world tells us every single day our flaws. Girls, you can kind of just float it out and say,
Are you
yeah.
kidding? The world doesn't tell girls every day their flaws.
So it is to conclude on this video. We've worked a lot on it, but there's just it's really loaded. I know a woman who's similar to this, and all the red flags. Okay, these are women who are very social. They're very playful. They're very fairy-like, like yay, yabby, yabby, and wearing colors and everything, and they use words like hi honey, and they call everyone like endearing terms and say that they love everyone. These are all red flags of women who on the surface it might seem like they're great and playful, but the reality is they are too playful and they're too not adult-like to face the difficulties of reality in a careful way and in a logical way where they can reason and with others and think more long term, because this is all short term stuff. She said she was in several year-long whatever relationships, this woman in the video, but that doesn't mean anything, because the only thing that means anything is a committed marriage. Everything else is like half-hearted. But I've got more to share here, guys. Let's see what else oh yeah, here's something to know about female psychology as well. Here we go.
This video today, the men that women date or the men that women date or marry are typically far different than the men that women want to sleep with. Okay, let this sink in, because like you and I, truthfully, have so much to dive into today and there's so much to cover. Let this sink in and just kind of marinate on that one more time. The men that women date or marry are typically far different than the men that women want to sleep with. Now, this needs to sink in because you have to be able to identify and you have to be able to understand how a woman categorizes you, okay? Every single time that you meet a woman and you guys maybe go out on dates or there's chemistry or you can see that this might go somewhere, whether that be leading things to the bedroom, leading things to, you guys going out and having a great time, leading things to whatever the case may be, relationship or dating one day. A woman has has you in a specific category. Okay, just like when you date, you will typically make, certain preconceived notions regarding the women that you're around. You start to get an idea of their personality traits and how they behave. So this is very important to understand and to realize that women will categorize men differently. So I'm going to read this word for word with what I have because I want this to sink in the right way. It is very important to know how a woman is categorizing you so you can play your position accordingly. Now, what does that mean, play your position accordingly? That means if she has you in a category as far as, like, let's say hypothetically, let's say she wants to sleep with you, or let's say it's all based on arousal, it's all based on sexual desire, that has nothing to do with her emotional attachment or her emotional investment towards you, okay? I'm going to be breaking these down into two categories today with the men that women will typically sleep with, and then we're going to go down to the second category, and I will show you step by step the men that women will date or marry, and how to know and how to identify what category she has you in, okay? That way, also, too, you can get a good idea of how you want to pursue things with a specific woman due to the fact that you know how she's probably viewing you. Now, before we dive into this, you got to understand, this takes a level of social calibration, this takes a level of being able to read people, and this takes a level of patience. You have to watch, a woman's words, and you have to watch her actions, you have to look at her vocal tone, her nuances, the way she's saying certain things, okay? Very important to know and to understand. Now, category one, the men that women will hook up with or sleep with regularly, okay? If you're this type of guy where a woman is wanting to sleep with you, you probably have an edge to you. When I say an edge to you, this means you're probably very masculine. You probably are a bit rough around the edges. Typically, oftentimes, this is based in certain levels of arousal. Okay, that's going to lead to the better. You're a guy who does.
Like the bad boy, this is what he's talking about. There's like the bad boy type, and that's men who are very confident and not seeming desperate, like they're just like they don't really care about the woman, and that's the paradox that people need to be conscious of, especially women. They need to realize that they may try to attract people who are not attracted to them, so it becomes this game of women trying to get the attention of the man who doesn't want to pay attention to her, and it's just this weird game that people need. And just, you can watch the rest of this video yourself. Casey Zander, he's very good. But actually, let's watch a little more, and then we'll keep going. But yeah, thanks for joining me here.
Doesn't probably do things by the book, okay? She doesn't look at you as a stable, monogamous, committed guy. So the men that women will typically hook up with.
So what he's going to go on to say here is that different people, like that different people will that women will categorize men in different categories, like someone would be a good husband, someone would be an exciting, sexual encounter, and then maybe somebody who they're not interested in. So, but we need to be conscious of this and go beyond it. But let's see here. I would like to just okay, so let's keep going. I just need to do something briefly. 1 second here. One second. Okay, so now let's get into this guy here. This guy's cool. Check this out.
Die much quicker than women, and most of them actually die out of heart attacks. They just did a study that shows that anytime a man ejaculates, the heart pumps so fast and there's so much pressure that within the years that he's doing it, he gets a heart attack at a later age. Now you might say, King, you know what, you're wrong with this one. But let me tell you something. When you practice semen retention, you don't know the power that you hold within. And there is a big reason why in every single scripture, in every single Bible, it says, keep semen in unless it's being used to make babies. Now, this is something that God has told us, and not a man. And now,
Okay, so the first part I'm on board with. He's trying to caution men that, you know, to have healthy sexual capacity and be virile, you need to have a strong heart in order to obviously use an erection. You need to have that heart as part of the system. And so that's why I go for 4 hours worth of cardio a week. I go on jogs, and I go on actually a stationary bike I've gotten really into because you know, you can do it at a gym and you can watch people walking by, women working out. It's fun. And actually, I'm going to take a quick bathroom break. If you'll bear with me, do some deep breathing, and actually maybe I can have something. Oh yeah, I'm gonna start up this video. You can listen to. Well, hold on a second. Let me see what we can start up with. Let's start up. Yeah, let's. You can listen to this and do some deep breathing. I'm going to use the bathroom, and I will be back. Okay, here we go. This is a film about how multiple partner connections is destructive, and I'll be back in about 5 minutes. So thank you guys for bearing with, and remember, deep breathing in and out. Feel your breath is the basis for your emotions. So when you're upset, it means you're not breathing right. If you're upset at someone, back away. Realize it's not them who's making you upset. It's you that's not breathing right. Back away, breathe. Okay, you need to seek your space. All right. So again, I'm going to put this on while I use the restroom. How sex with multiple partners can be destructive. Let's check this out.
This video presents the teachings of Master Dhananjay, who has gathered knowledge from various scriptures and books on his journey to enlightenment and liberation. In a world where promiscuity, one-night stands, and having multiple partners are normalized, Master Dhananjay explains the destructive effects of such behavior and its impact on the majority of people in our modern society. Join us in this video to understand the degenerative nature of participating in multiple and casual sexual encounters, and how such behavior can impact our future marriages and families. We assure you that watching this will encourage you to think twice before engaging with a random stranger whom you do not genuinely love and wish to marry. Whenever a man and woman indulge in sexual intercourse, the astral bodies, also called subtle body or mind body, of the man and woman merge together, and forces get created in the cosmos that are fully conducive for the birth of a new child. The connection thus formed between man and woman during intercourse produces an astral umbilical cord-like tube in the lower astral plane world. The appearance of this astral tube is somewhat cloud-like in color, about 6 inches in diameter, and can be clearly seen when the astral body of the person concerned is viewed by deep meditation. The tube gets thicker, stronger, and denser with every repeat act of sexual intercourse. So why did God create the astral tube? The primary purpose of this tube is to foster authentic sentiments of trust, genuine love, affection, understanding, sacrifice, and bonding between a legally married husband and wife, even if they were strangers before marriage. These astral tubes serve as conduits through which two individuals previously unfamiliar with each other develop the inclination to stand by one another, remain loyal, and provide support in times of need. In essence, this astral channel serves as the medium through which a couple shares thoughts, ideas, feelings, and engages in astral level communication. It facilitates the transmission of genuine and unconditional love, a vital component of the relationship between a husband and wife. The astral, too, acts as a conduit for all the essential elements required for a couple to remain together and build a healthy, happy family unit. When an individual engages in multiple affairs, involving casual sexual relationships with various partners, numerous astral tubes form, connecting a large population through astral matter. Unbeknownst to them, as they move from one partner to another, their astral body, observable through meditation, reveals a network of astral tubes extending to numerous individuals. Contrary to the original purpose of astral tubes, which aim to foster a strong marital bond and family unit, individuals with multiple sex partners typically lack the intention to settle down with any one person. Their pursuit revolves solely around momentary sexual gratification, devoid of deeper commitment. Moreover, such relationships often stem from selfish and malevolent motives, including manipulation, conquest, lust, and a use and throw attitude.
Alrighty, so not sure exactly what you guys saw out of that, but the core of that video has to do with that you create these energetic attachments. These are not our bodies, right? So what are we? We're these flows of energy and consciousness, and the whole idea of a marriage is about to for the average people, right? It's about to have 2 children, to have replacement value of society, because it seems like we're at to me, it seems like we're at a pretty optimal amount of inhabitants of the planet, and so we just to maintain that. Because when you have a lot of people, you can do a lot of things. Like, this is another issue people have with money. You want money because money is a restrictor. Like, money ensures that, like, if you're going to $100 concert or restaurant, something nice, that not a person that's can only afford $10 will be in there, because then they might be messy or loud or whatever it may be. Money is a useful restrictor. It helps to make sure that people don't have too much power who are also irresponsible. Now, occasionally people do get money, like spoiled children or lottery winners or something, but mostly people have money because they're responsible and they're adding value to society. And I actually want to mention something else about money. Right here is this guy again. Check this out.
If you're going to become rich, you must listen to this. Most people don't know what a foundation is. People like Bill Gates and some of his friends that are billionaires that spend a lot of money into charity and give it away. Well, they're actually not giving it into charity. What they do is they put it into a foundation. What is a foundation? It's just like charity, but 5% of what you put in needs to go into charity. The other
5%, guys.
So if I put $100 million into a foundation, I now need to give only 5% in that year to charity. But the truth is, if I take that $100 million and I invest it into things that will make me more than 5% per year, it will constantly bring money in, and I will never actually empty my $100 million. And that's exactly also how Harvard did it as well. They use a foundation, and as long as they keep bringing money in from students, the foundation never needs to...
And the schools, they do that, and obviously churches, but mainly it's like schools. They have these endowment programs where there's a lot of money in the mix. And the biggest issue, I think, with really large countries or economies or currencies, forms of currency, is that there is room for corruption. There are room for some people to bend the tax laws and go through these loopholes that kind of allow them to outsmart the average worker bee. And maybe that's a good thing. Maybe, like I was saying about money, maybe it's good that only those who are smart enough, and that way it's promoting it's favoring the genetics of intelligence. The smart ones are the ones who will survive and procreate more abundantly than the poor ones. But then it's confusing because the poorest of people often have a lot of children because they like to have more children so the children can help and support and raise each other and also do things like more laborious work, which it's better to have more people, like farm work and such. So different elements to consider, all in this human experiment. It's especially an experiment in America, though. If you look at in the past, I mean, 100, whatever it is, years ago in America, people were, having tough lives. They were making very low wages and living in unremarkable conditions, and they got through it. So let's remember where we came from and remember all the stuff that was done to fight for this freedom. And now they use the term fighting for freedom, but it's misleading because that's really more of a military industrial complex thing where they invest in countries, where they create a fake scenario in a country in order to get oil money over it, or just for the sheer reason of destroying the country and making money off of the military operations of it, and then subsequently rebuilding the country and making money off of rebuilding it. So there's these weird things that happen, all in the name of freedom and democracy. So don't be fooled by that, but do remember the original meaning of freedom and democracy and how and if anyone challenges you on this, people in the military or people who are, rah-rah the US, just tell them that of course it makes sense to have the National Guard, which are going to be guarding our borders and also having, like heavy equipment like tanks and aircraft carriers, around our border in order to protect us militarily. But this idea of all this complicated, having hundreds of military bases everywhere, it just makes it easier for, if there is some corruption in the government, for it to be played out in certain areas and certain aspects. And so, but getting back, let's see, what else do I have? So this is a reference. It's about masturbation, self-pleasure, and this idea of self-consent I really appreciated, and not to be thinking you're too selfish. For example, this they say, write down 10 things that you want, anything goes. Nice, Jerome. The funny thing, Jerome, is you missed the bulk of it, which was more edgy. I don't know why the link didn't show up or what have you, but you can always choose a specific topic you think is controversial that you know that I may have talked about, and then I can elaborate on that. But let's see. So and then if we're not clear on what our core needs are, then how can we really consent? So it's just when and then ask yourself, how can you make masturbation like 10% more enjoyable? And then so yeah, this is this, and then what else? Let's see here. What else do we have here? Oh, here's a good one. So there's this dilemma. There's this dynamic occurring in Sweden where a lot of men are seeking out Thai wives, and then the Swedish government is trying to restrict Thai women specifically from being allowed to migrate into Sweden. And here's the bottom line, guys. Guys like feminine women. I know what you mean, Jerome, some of my shows do get into like a very scholastic presentation, lecture style. But I do appreciate the encouragement. So, like I was suggesting, well, let's check out this video so to give you a sense of what I'm making reference to. Okay, so
But it's gotta be equal.
check this out.
If you're making $100K a year, how much would you expect your man to make?
Equal or more.
Why?
Because when I look for a partner, I look for equal. Or if it's more, I'm not complaining, but it's gotta be equal.
What do you think about this statement? My money is our money, her money is hers.
I agree. I 100% agree.
Why?
Our money is our money, but her money is her money, right? She's earning for herself. But like, oh fuck, no.
And just another thought just occurred to me. When you see people and they seem wealthy, like they're dressed fancy or what have you, it can often mean that they're actually poor and they're trying to pretend to be rich. And then what the rich do is they pretend to be poor, so you don't see that the rich have money. You know, the rich hide your money. If you're actually rich, you know, you don't want to flaunt your money. You may have like a nice house, which is far away in a suburb, but you may not drive the fanciest cars, and you may, when you do enjoy yourself, it may be on a vacation at some luxury destination, you know what I mean? As opposed to trying to wear, you know, $50K or more worth of jewelry and walk down some random street. But what's important that's being presented here is this woman is, well, let's just watch the whole thing here. Here we go.
You expect a man to protect and provide for you.
Yes.
If a man is expected to provide and protect, shouldn't he have some form of authority over his woman?
No.
Why?
A relationship is 50-50.
But it's not 50-50 if his money is our money and your money is yours.
Oops.
That's like, don't you want to...
So, getting into it, here we go. Let's check this out.
Shout out to just that dude who said, 2024, another year I will not be dating.
So, the mistake is, guys, that the whole dating is a new phenomenon. Generally and historically, dating would only be something you would do in public as a showcase of your commitment to one another. Like, you'd be married and then in public people would see you in public together. Let's see here.
Preach that, my man. And Happy New Year's, everyone. So, of course, don't forget to reach out to us by email to claim your $5. As usual, guys,
I stay really positive about it, just because I truly believe in manifestation. I feel, you know, if you kind of say certain things, you're not going to kind of get what you want. But
In Thailand, then you can't say back in London. Be honest.
I'm sure you can. Have I seen it loads? Not as much.
Modern women can only date in countries where they can rely on feminism and misandry to destroy men. Thailand is definitely not one of those countries. Passport bros.
The Swedish foreign minister told me to go climb back under the rock that I came out from under when I was in Scandinavia. She regards me as misogynist because I've been putting forward the evidence that there are genuine differences between men and women. This is like the core idea among the feminist neo-Marxist types, is that if there's differences in outcome, that's proof of prejudice, and that's support for the idea of the patriarchal tyranny. It's like, well, if it turns out that many of these these differences in outcome between men and women aren't a consequence of the patriarchal tyranny. In fact, even get bigger when you reduce the tyrannical aspect of the patriarchy and even the patriarchal aspect of it. Then it makes that theory not only wrong, but opposite of the truth, which is the worst kind of wrong.
Sweden, as a socialist country, which needs to import.
So the simplified understanding of all of this is this. It's as simple as let's see. It's as simple as men go to these foreign countries to find women. I mean, maybe because of just a desire for genetic diversity, like somebody of one ethnicity wanting someone of another. And I think that's great because it ends up with everyone in the world starting to look more similar in terms of their physical similarity, and that'll help us get along more when we're homogenized a little. But the deeper issue here is that in these countries, the fathers, they protect their daughters. They don't, the daughters stay at home. The men work. And that keeps the woman feminine, and that's why these guys are going to these countries. So that's what we need to be aware of. But furthermore, I'm going to kind of wrap it up. I'm going to finish it up with this. It's this idea that it's sort of it's like when it's not about a woman liking you or you liking a woman. It's more like, are you similar and do you have a likeness to a woman? Like, are you similar in health? Are you similar in the way you walk? Are you similar in certain key fun things you like to do? And so it's easy to try to say like, oh, you love a woman or whatnot, but really the only thing that people can love is values. Because when a woman gets in a wheelchair and when her quote unquote maybe body is not as attractive as it was, then the question is that what keeps your relationship together, or is it the values that you decided, you know what, let's move forward in life by supporting and upholding these certain values? And yeah, and ultimately, guys, it's about stop less about thinking about what do like women like. Men will ask that question, be it in public or whatnot. They'll be like, do women like me? Do these numerous women have interest in me? Just clear the slate and just start thinking of it in terms of, what would my wife want? Who is she? How can I evolve to be more prepared and closer to her? And the fundamental conclusion I'm offering for this discourse is that a woman letting a man have sex without the promises of marriage is it's a mistake on the woman, because her job is to guard sexuality, and she should employ other men like her father to help protect her and look out for her. Because who cares more about her father or? And I know this doesn't apply in every instance, but generally, And then a man promising marriage, but the woman doesn't allow him sex. And it's not just about sex, because obviously women and men can't always be sexually, like able, but it's about closeness and who are they giving each other to each other fully. And then there's another thing that I feel like it's worth mentioning is like, to men and women, do you value your purity? Do you okay, so the biblical angle is that it's like, that's anti-premarital intimacy, which I agree with. Is they say things like it's evil, wrong, or you'll be punished with a in the afterlife. I agree, but I don't think these are clear and convincing enough in order to offer people like clear strategies as to how and why to avoid premarital intimacy. But on my website, and as I profess, Shield Heart, right? It's anti-premarital intimacy, and I incorporate some logic. I offer statistics of why marriages succeed if both parties are virgin, which happens in a lot of Orthodox marriages. You know, the marriages succeed a lot more than, and if the people were promiscuous prior, the marriages are more likely to fail. Because think about it, if you're being promiscuous, it means you're eliminating the aspect of attaching to each other. You know what I mean? Like, you're eliminating the possibility of attaching to each other, and it's like harder to attach because you're forcing yourself to attach and detach from people. And this is happening on a both spiritual and physical and psychological level. And so in my logical arguments, I also like to define what love and lust is. Love is a commitment to mutually held values. And so if you love someone, that means that you must love their values. And if you don't, then you shouldn't say that you love them. And then love, the opposite of love in a romantic sense, is lust. And if you're just lusting after someone, it means, and you're just, if the main thing you want to do with a woman is have sex with her before marriage, if the sex is, people say that, sex isn't everything, but if they're having sex before marriage, guess what that means? That means that sex is more important to them than marriage. And then, creating a new, term for the spouse. I'm using new language. I call it the V-spal. Actually, check this out here, guys. This is my writings. So it's the V-spal, which is a values and interests spousal partner for life, the V-spal. And then learning how to self-love, practical application, techniques of avoiding premarital intimacy, and outsmarting manipulative people. So that's what I offer on my website, and we can talk more about that if you have any curiosities. But let's do a quick light work session and call it. So you're going to visualize people smiling, maybe people you're upset at. Choose one person you're upset at. Imagine them smiling, and a brilliant aura of white light surrounds them, and they bring in that white light. Imagine you can throw a huge sphere of brilliant white light around in your room, and then all the way into the world, protecting all the influential people. Imagine them smiling and happy. And that's who we are, guys. Pure love and light. Aloha.